Hi, this is Curious Mystics Podcast, formerly Spiritual Mamas Podcast. Together we explore the mysteries of the spiritual world, sometimes boldly,
Sometimes cautiously.
but always with open hearts
and curious minds.
Let's go. Hello, hello.
Hello, welcome back.
Yep, it's Aericka and Kim from Curious Mystic Podcast. We're back with you today.
Thank you for being here with us, as always.
How are we doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm feeling pretty good. I had to take a short pause from my personal training, so today I went back, and it makes me feel like there's so much work to do, but I feel pretty strong, so I'm happy about it.
That's awesome. I've been meaning to ask you how that's been going, because you've been doing that for what?
I've been doing that
Several
since
months.
September.
Yeah.
I believe September, October I started. And it's been going pretty well, and I've definitely noticed the progression I've had, like I'm getting stronger and things like that. And I was nervous about today because I haven't been in 2 weeks. So I was like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen, but it was really good.
Awesome. That's awesome. That's cool. So I have a question for you. Last night was a full moon.
Yeah.
Full moon last night.
Yes, it was.
And so I put my crystals out and my moon water out, but I didn't put it out until I want to say 9:45. And the moon was in the yard, but I don't think it was hitting where it was on the porch. I don't know if it was going to hit on the porch by then. If I missed it, did I miss it? How does that work? No, it just in general, it's okay.
Yeah. The full moon, that energy is still there, whether you can, even if it's a cloudy night and, that's not coming through. And because the full moon reaches its peak sometimes during the day. So I think yesterday, technically, it reached its peak at noon Eastern time. But that energy lingers for a couple days. So even if you missed it on the night of the full moon, you could do it the next night or the night after. But yeah.
Okay, good. Because I was I want to put my stuff out, but I don't know if I missed it. And I drank a little bit of it this morning, and then now I have some in my tea.
Yes.
Of the water. So
I love that you've made that part of your practice where you do that every time. You drink it the next morning. I always give it to my plants, but you make that as a part of your practice.
No, my plants, they're lucky they get water.
Yeah. I think that's why I do it, because I'm I haven't watered you since the last full moon.
But luckily the plants I have are the type that they can go through some neglect. Yeah. I do have a confession though. You gave me a cactus when we first met for our first time here. Yeah. I think right before we decided to do the podcast.
Yeah.
I think I killed it.
I've been there.
I think I overwatered it because what happened is I hadn't watered it in so long, and I was oh well, it'll be it'll be a rain monsoon season, and so I gave it a bunch of water, and I don't think it worked out.
I don't know if I've definitely been there with, especially specifically with a cactus, which is yeah,
right.
What?
I kill succulents too. I kill them right off. Yeah.
Those can be hard, but I don't know if you did it this way, but typically, so I have a cactus that I water it twice a year. I never water it. But when I do, I pull it out, which is a tricky thing to do. I pull it out of its container and I let it soak in a tub of water for for however long, maybe an hour or two. And then I pull it out of that water and let it sit for a minute before I put it back. And then I ignore it for the next 6 months.
That's probably, I filled it up and then it sat in it too long, I think is what happened. But
yeah.
So I apologize. I killed your cactus.
That's okay.
But yeah, so the episode that came out, I'm going to get a little bit heavy right now. So the episode that came out today that we did was Soul Contracts, the Soul Blueprint.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be like confession time. I typically do not listen to our episodes when they come out because I do the editing.
Yeah.
And so like, I think I listen to it a lot. So I typically don't listen to it, but for whatever reason, I put it on while I was getting ready this morning. And it was talking about like past lives and like soul contracts and stuff like that. And, over this weekend, it was Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm.
And normally I have no trouble, but for whatever reason, this Mother's Day, trigger warning, infertility, I can't have kids. So my kids are my stepkids. So for whatever reason, I got upset that I can't have kids. And I was like, and I was talking to my husband about it, and it was brief, but it was there. It was like an intense feeling, which again, I don't really. I think about, yes, I do think about it, but it's like doesn't normally kind of like come to the surface like that. So, and I was like, okay, came and went, and then so this morning I'm listening to the Soul Contracts, and it hit me because of everything that's happened. I met my husband with all of his kids and everything that we've gone through, and there's been a lot to that. It hit me that this must have been a choice.
Mm-hmm.
It had to have been a choice.
Mm-hmm.
That I couldn't have kids. I met this family. I mean, I feel like I'm a big pillar to this family.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I don't know. It just really hit me that this must have been a choice. And in this episode, we talk about kind of like choose your own adventure and like these points in your life where you're usually like given a choice, and what you do with that choice, whether you recognize it or not, kind of like determines the path that you go on. And I remember specifically, like it was like maybe a year into us dating, maybe 2 years into us dating. I remember pulling into his driveway, and all of a sudden I just got hit with this question: is this really what you want?
Mm.
And I sat there and thought about it, and I was like, I was a single woman in her mid 30s.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I had a whole career, had a whole life, had all this thing, and I'm about to take on 3 kids. I'm dating this guy with 3 children. And I said, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was one of those turning points.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway, it gave me a lot of clarity this morning, and I think I was supposed to listen to that episode again, even though I'm the one that wrote the episode and I'm the one that like recorded that episode.
Mm-hmm.
I think I needed it to be heard again. So
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a couple things that come up with that. First, you having this experience of like listening to it today when you don't normally listen to them and all of that, I'm sure was meant for you to do that, for it to happen in this way, and for you to hear the message that you were saying in that way, in that moment, today of all days. I mean, by the time this episode comes out, I'm not really sure when it's going to be, but at the moment, we just had the full moon in Scorpio. It's all about letting go of things that, don't serve you anymore, and claiming, right? And being really present with what's yours. So I think it was probably all meant to be for you to listen to that episode at this time after Mother's Day for the Scorpio full moon to hear and fully absorb that message.
I'm all tingly. Yeah. No, I 100% agree with you, and that's why I wanted to share. I mean, no, it's a little bit more personal than we normally get into, but honestly, I'm pretty much an open book. I don't have a lot of personal to me, but yeah. So I just thought it was profound to me. I just want our listeners, hopefully, that they, if they would get something out of that, out of the episode in general, or, just, if you're struggling with anything like that, if you're struggling with a decision that you made or wondering about something that's been part of your life, like why this has been, the interesting thing is that I almost always knew I couldn't have kids, even though I didn't know I couldn't have kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I think the universe just kind of set me up for this.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, one of those soul contracts that I apparently contracted, didn't know I contracted.
Yeah. And that's the frustrating piece, is that we don't always know, right? Sometimes it hits us like a ton of bricks and we're like, why is this happening? It doesn't make any sense. Where did this come from? And other
Hmm.
times it's like, okay, all right, I can maybe see a reason for that. And we may not know till much later, but sometimes you need to just lean in a little bit.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. So
Hmm.
that's my heaviness of the day. So
Well, thank you for sharing that.
you're welcome. And I saged, and I got my little heart crystal because I wanted to share that. I need a little.
Yeah.
Yeah, my heart crystal or my rose quartz with me.
Yeah.
So that it's all charged from the full moon.
Mm-hmm.
So today we're talking about. So I got a couple requests for this to talk about sacred, like how to make a sacred space
Mm-hmm.
in your home,
Mm-hmm.
or like a Zen room or whatever, because I've put a ton of work into my sacred space, my Zen room, and it's something that I feel is extraordinarily important for
Mm-hmm.
people who are doing this sort of practice, to
Yeah.
have in order to be able to grow in it. So I was thinking about like how am I going to approach this, like, and I wrote down some notes on how. But the idea is, what is a sacred space? What is a Zen space? Like, to me, it is a place that is only yours. It's a space where you can control the energy in there, that not a lot of people kind of go in and out of,
Mm-hmm.
and where you go to do your spiritual work, your practice. Be that just where you do your meditations, be that where you pray, be that where you just have your crystals and look, and hang out with them, whatever the situation, whatever your spiritual practice looks like right now,
Mm-hmm.
it's your dedicated space to that. And why it's important is because when we're doing this spiritual work, it takes a lot of focus.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be calm, you have to be grounded, and it's nice to have a space where you can keep the things that you're using
Mm-hmm.
to practice all in one space.
Mm-hmm.
And it sets the tone for your practice, so that when you go into that meditation, or when you're praying, or yoga, whatever it is, you're kind of more easily dialed in than, let's say, you're doing it in the middle of the living room
Mm-hmm.
with toys everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I like that you say that, because there's definitely, I mean, for me, there's this understanding that that you can use what you have. So if you don't have a space, you can do this anywhere. But what you're highlighting is, in the same way that we talk about, carry your crystals with you, carry your cards with you, you want your energy imbued in that, you can create a space that has your energy signature.
Mm-hmm.
And it's much easier for you to focus, to connect, to be in that moment or in that space without having to take so much of your energy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so yes, I 100% agree with you as far as like you should be able to kind of do your practice
Mm-hmm.
anywhere, and
Yeah.
that is true. But what I'm kind of seeing, what helps with growing
Yeah.
your abilities, like if you're wanting to become better at meditation,
Mm-hmm.
want to grow your intuition, want to work on understanding tarot more, you
Yeah.
need to do it in kind of like a space,
Yeah.
you
A
know?
dedicated like
Yeah.
container.
Hmm. Hmm. And it's good too. I kind of feel like I'm like, often talking to moms, but like when you've got like this whole house tends to be not yours. It's nice to have, even if it's where you go and close your eyes and like decompress for 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
um and that's kind of where this came about for me, is that when I started this, I knew I wanted to kind of start meditating, but I couldn't find a space in my house that I felt that I could relax enough to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was trying to find some place that was mine, because the whole house was kind of in chaos at the time.
Yeah.
So,
And the other piece too is like, even especially talking to moms, but regardless of what stage your family's at. Like with little kids, for sure, they're going to be running around doing whatever. But even with older kids, they,
Mm-hmm.
are using the space in the way that they want to use the space in the living room, in the kitchen, and wherever.
Mm-hmm.
And so it applies across the board when you have family,
Mm-hmm.
even if you don't have children.
Yeah, even just a partner,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how do you choose a space?
Mm-hmm.
If you're lucky enough to actually have a whole room that you could dedicate, awesome. I mean, I have a whole room, but it's more like Zen slash office
Mm-hmm.
for me. But the way I've done it is I've divided
Yep.
the two very distinctly. I don't have like a divider, but like what I do in them
Mm-hmm.
is different.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't, look for any area in the house that is a quieter space in the house that you can dedicate. It could be a corner of a room. It could be a shelf somewhere where you go and stand and you put like your little
Mm-hmm.
accoutrements, and that's where you stand, and you can keep the energy in that like shelf area. um I don't necessarily recommend it in your bedroom unless you have like a big bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
I think because one, we often talk, like I've often heard people say you should just have your bedroom be your bedroom so that
Mm-hmm.
you kind of sleep there. Plus, like I feel like, especially if you have a partner or whatever, it's mixed energies in your bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I personally don't feel like the bedroom is good.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. There can be multiple energies in there, and that ideally is your place to recharge. And if you're also connecting spiritually in any way, then you're not necessarily recharging.
Yeah. Plus, like it's kind of like if you were just trying to, let's say you were working on mediumship and then you try to just go straight into your bed,
Yeah.
you'd be like, no, 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 I need a boundary, you know?
Yeah.
So, but if you, let's say you have two different living rooms
Mm-hmm.
and that people tend to be more in one living room, you can make a space in the other living room. If you
Mm-hmm.
have, it doesn't have to be big,
Mm-hmm.
but how do we make the area?
Mm-hmm. Hey, friends, we just wanted to take a moment to remind you all that you can interact with us on social media. We can be found at Curious Mystics Podcast on all platforms.
And if you haven't already, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share so that we can keep showing up for you guys with new weekly episodes and content. Thank you for hanging out with us so far, and
Stay
stay
curious.
curious. First thing is to like clear out of anything that's not going to be used in your practice,
Yeah.
if possible. Like I said, like if it's a shelf, maybe nothing else goes on that shelf except for what you're going to use for your practice. If it's a corner of the room, like clear that all out first of any junk. Clean it, like physically clean it as well. And then next thing is you're going to want to cleanse the area
Mm-hmm.
of any old or negative energy. It doesn't have to be negative, it's just old energy.
Yeah.
And I would recommend doing this no matter what, whether you have negative energy or you think anything. This is going to be your space. You're clearing it now.
Yeah, it's like a reset.
Mm-hmm. And when you do this, you start by meditating
Okay.
and connecting to your spirit guides
Mm-hmm.
and telling them what you're trying to do.
Mm.
I want to make this space a space where I can connect with, my spirituality. I would like to be able to have this space for mine, and ask them to help you with this. Ask them to protect it, to cleanse it, to give good energy to it. I recommend having some sort of crystal with you when you do this. I'm going to go over some crystals that you can have in a minute here, but like clear quartz
Mm-hmm.
or some other, just to kind of help connect, like channel energy a little bit more
Mm-hmm.
while you do this. You could use Palo Santo, different herbs,
Mm-hmm.
like your sage, your eucalyptus, sweetgrass, all kind of stuff to kind of help clear these energies
Yeah.
out of there. And I'm going to go through some of like stuff you can use a little bit later here, but
Mm-hmm.
and then just sit with that area after you do that.
Mm-hmm.
Connect with the energy, connect with how you want to be in this area. Just,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to necessarily be meditating, but just kind of like, breathe it in. It's like we talk about with the tarot, where you got to walk around with it. You talk about you got to take your crystals, you got to walk around with it. You have to sit in this space, and feel if there's anything else that you need to do, anything else that needs it needs to be cleared, or it needs to be changed in any way. So what you put into it, into your space. So like you can use, this kind of varies on what your practice is, what you're trying to do, what you're going to actually be doing in here. But again, keep it minimal, keep it uncluttered, because that, as soon as you have clutter in there, that clutter starts to kind of seep energy at you and take energy from you. And I don't know, for me especially, like I can't focus when there's just clutter. So I do recommend some sort of altar. You don't have to call it an altar. It just some place that you have like crystals that you like to use. I do recommend candles. I don't recommend like the candle you got at Starbucks at Christmas. I don't recommend a candle you get from Walmart unless you really kind of cleanse it. I would recommend more like a candle you get from, if you have one, from like a metaphysical shop, or I don't know, something that's a little bit, you pick with intention, I guess, is my thoughts on that. Because you're burning it, I feel like you're going to let that energy out. I don't know. I don't know if I'm thinking way too much into this, but that's how I feel.
No, that makes sense. I mean, I have some thoughts about that, but I think for the most part, when you're dedicating this space and you're trying to set this specific type of intention, if you have the ability to, you should, be thinking about that as well. Like, where are these materials coming from?
Yeah. Again, and obviously this is if you have the ability, if you don't, the Walmart candle works, just cleanse it. So, and then this is kind of where, like, I have a picture of my spirit animal on my altar. You can have a picture of what your spirit guides, your ancestors, you can put on there, tarot cards, whatever. This altar is kind of where you're kind of keeping some of this stuff out. And then how do you maintain this? How do you maintain this space? I would recommend, I think you're going to feel it. I think you feel whenever the space needs cleansed. Like how you would know would be, you don't feel that feeling when you come you don't feel that like relaxed feeling when you come into the room. Maybe you're having difficulty kind of connecting to your spirit guides. The energy needs cleared periodically. I don't know what that time frame is, but I don't know. Do you periodically do your room?
Yeah, I don't necessarily do it on a specific time frame. I think a lot of it has to do with the energy that I'm feeling in here. Um, mm, for like the deep cleaning, resetting type of thing.
Mm,
But the basic, I mean, full moon can be a great time to kind of clear
mm,
things out and make sure that everything's how you want it. Definitely, if you're feeling a shift, if I walk into this room and I don't immediately feel connected, don't immediately feel like this is the space that I wanted it to be, if I notice that things have started to pile up, then yeah, I
mm.
agree with you. I think it's an individual thing.
Yep, definitely. So some of the crystals that I recommend that you can use to have in your space, kind of in your general practice, would be crystals like black tourmaline, because it's a powerful protective stone that repels and blocks negative energy, and it's considered a really good one for protection. And amethyst, which is known for its calming and healing properties, and it also helps clear negative energy and promote emotional balance. And then clear quartz, it's often called the master healer, and absorbs, stores, and releases energy, making it effective for clearing negative vibrations. And then selenite, I mean, I have a selenite, I don't know what you want to call this, tray that I
Mm-hmm.
have all my other crystals on, but it's a powerful cleansing crystal that it wards off negative energy, but it also clears energy of other crystals. So,
Mm-hmm.
and then obsidian, which is a grounding and protective stone that absorbs negative energy from the environment and neutralizes it.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that's really good. Do you have any that you recommend that you?
All of the ones that you said, I think the only other thing that for me that I use is I usually carry it with me. It's in my bag actually. A jet stone. And I think we've talked about this before, but uh, in some Hispanic cultures and Puerto Rican culture, when a baby is born, it's kind of like that's the evil eye.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an evil eye. It's in the shape of a little hand, and it's
Oh
a
yeah.
tiny little black jet
Mm-hmm.
stone that is usually gifted and used as on a bracelet for babies to protect them from evil and negative energy and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's anything specific to the work that you're practicing, the culture that you're connected
Mm-hmm.
to,
Yeah.
then I would definitely consider those as well and how
Yeah.
you could use them in your space.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah. So, some herbs that you can use. You can burn cedar for decluttering.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Yeah. Um, Yerba Santa for loving vibes.
Mm,
Rosemary for new beginnings.
mhm.
Mugwort for dreamy nights. We talked about that in just
Yeah.
recently. Juniper for comfort.
Mhm.
And it's actually thought to create a more sacred energy. And then myrrh and frankincense.
Mhm.
And Palo Santo for prosperity.
Mhm.
I use Palo Santo for clearing. I actually really like Palo Santo. Tibetan monastery incense for clarity.
Mhm.
Sandalwood for grounding. And then if you don't want to burn anything, you can use Himalayan salt lamps.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm. I mean, at this point, there's so many different ways of accessing the same energy from those herbs. Like a lot of times you can find them in sprays and things like that. So
mm-hmm.
it doesn't have to be burning, but yeah, knowing what your like goal is. Are you looking to ground? Are you looking to clear? Are you looking for comfort? Are you looking for prosperity or whatever? And then finding the associated herb with that.
Mm-hmm. So I guess I was gonna get into kind of how I did my room specifically because the room that I took over was previously there was a relative that was in there that didn't have very good energy. It was actually pretty negative energy. And once they left, then I took over this room. And I knew that I wanted to take this room over to have a space for myself because one, I needed an office, and two, I wanted a space for myself. But I knew that I couldn't just go in there
Mm-hmm.
and just go in there, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
because of the amount of negative energy that was in there. And so I cleaned the whole room and I took everything out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And before I can't remember, I don't think yeah, no, before I even started painting,
Mm-hmm.
I think I just took everything out of it and then like vacuumed. And then the night before, I meditated on how to do this.
Yep.
And like I was like, how am I going to clean this? How am I going to get this negative energy out? And I got that I needed to like call in my spirit people and like, how to do this. And so the day that I decided to do it, I charged up myself. I called in my spirit guides. I called in Michael,
Mm-hmm.
Archangel Michael, and I told them that this is what I was going to be doing and that I needed help and protection and to help me clear out this energy. And I had a bowl of crystals that I picked out and I had my sage.
Mm-hmm.
And I stood in the middle of the room and I connected to, I guess, the spirit realm, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I kind of dropped into that meditative state and called in Michael and everything, and everybody was with me. And I said, I dispel all negative energy from here. You are not welcome to here anymore. This is my space. I reclaim this space for mine and for good things only.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to leave. Only protective and good entities are allowed. I mean, just like
Mm-hmm.
stood in the middle of the room and walked around. And then I did that for a while. And then I walked around to every single inch of the room,
Yeah.
like floorboards to ceilings, and said basically the same thing to every inch of the room. And I felt it. I mean, I could see it and I could feel it
Mm-hmm.
leaving.
Mm-hmm.
It was very intense. And then once I did that, I put, I think I put white quartz or clear quartz in all the corners.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember now, actually. I should probably find them. Recharge those. And then I completely redid the room. I painted it, I was very specific on the furniture that I picked out for in here. Like I have all wood. I have an all wood bookcase. I have an all wood desk. I didn't want anything kind of fake in here.
Yeah.
And then I decided which side of the room was going to be the more spiritual side, which was going to be my office. And then I specifically set that up. I have an altar in the corner here, and yeah. And then each time I came in here, I just kind of redid the negative energies got to go type situation, and then put my own energy into it. And I worked really hard in here, and since then, I mean, it's reclaimed. I never have bad energy. I mean, I have energy that's disrupted because of my own disruption, but I don't have any of that. There was a point where you could barely walk into this room because of the energy. So, and
yeah, I know that it was quite a process for you, and it was very intentional. Every step of the way was very intentional, which I think in an ideal situation, if you have that ability, then you should be doing this because this is your space where you want to be able to connect the most. So I like that you were able to do that. And I remember you talking about it along the way, feeling the shifts happening as they were happening and coming to a place of no, now it's mine. This is exactly what I need it to be.
Yeah. Yeah. And most people, my family pretty much, if I'm in here with the door closed, they know I'm in here doing my thing. Really, nobody kind of comes in here. My son comes in here every once in a while to play his VR because there's room in here, but really he doesn't. I don't know. They just know that this is my space, and it's not that I'm get out, just I don't know. So that's how I recommend you do it. Yeah. That's why I definitely recommend, like I said, at bare minimum, find a shelf that you can claim as yours, and that's where you focus your energy on while you're doing your practice. So,
what do you think about having a space that's outdoors?
I would love that. So as a shamanic practitioner, you can, what we do is you have oh my gosh, what is it called? Wheel. I am blanking. It's a wheel. But essentially it's made out of stones that you pick up along the way through travels through intention. And you have a big circle in the middle, and then around it, medicine wheel. Oh my gosh. And then you have 32 stones around it. And the idea is that is supposed to be outside. Okay. And so you could set up that space. You can also do cairns. Have you ever seen those? The rocks. So again, the idea would be you've picked up these rocks along the way, and you dedicate it to the earth spirits in your area, and you can make a cairn, blessing it and giving offerings to. But I would love to have a dedicated space outside. I don't have one because our yard's a little hard to be in sometimes, but yeah.
I really do like that idea, and I think I'm thinking about access. If you don't necessarily have access, and you start, let's say, with a shelf or something, but being out in nature is something that is naturally grounding, so there is maybe less work that you need to do to connect, to center, to, create a sacred space. And yes, you may have more energies running through there,
Mm-hmm.
but it can also naturally level itself out. So,
Yeah, I'm just thinking like if you live in an apartment building and you have a um deck thing, like a
hmm
what is it called? A terrace? I can't talk this morning. Um
yeah, like a little deck or something,
yeah, like you
patio.
can make a spot on the patio.
hmm
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Sunroom.
hmm
I mean, yeah, I think honestly it's the intention more than the amount of space or where the space is.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I am curious if anyone would want to have like a tutorial on how to make a medicine bundle. So, well, quote unquote medicine bundle, so that you can, it's like a traveling altar
hmm
that you can make on your own so that
Yes,
you could
please.
have any space. All right. Maybe I'll do a bonus episode
Yeah,
of
I would
that.
love that. I've been thinking about that too, because I'm like, something that you can travel with and carry with
Mhm.
you.
Yeah.
And I haven't created one, but I think about what I would put in it, and I have an idea about it, but I would love
Hmm.
for you
Yeah.
to do a little tutorial on that.
Yeah, I have one. I used it at your house.
Yeah.
So basically what it is you have this bundle of stuff that you bring that you've blessed, and it's your
hmm
source of power and your mini traveling altar.
Yeah.
And then that way you could set up wherever you are.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so if you really, really don't have a space that you can dedicate to yourself, you can have this altar that you then just lay out in the
hmm
area. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That makes
absolutely.
a
I
lot of
could do
sense.
that. Maybe I'll do a bonus episode on that.
That would be amazing.
One you could see on YouTube.
Yeah. The other thing that I think is important to consider is like, what is the type of work that you're doing? What is the purpose of your practice? Not just the
Mm-hmm.
intention of having a space, but what's the driving force behind it? Because that can also help to inform you in the same way that you meditated and leaned into, okay, what do I need to do in order to prepare this space? And
Mm-hmm.
you received that answer. If someone is doing work that is very heavy in the ancestor base, then ask your ancestors and
Mm-hmm.
connect
Yeah,
with
what do you
what
want to
they,
see? Yeah.
yeah, connect with what that practice would look like. If it's very specific to a shaman practice, then
Mm-hmm.
lean into that practice. Like, what is the work that you're doing, and lean into
Mm-hmm.
that so it can help guide you in what you're
Yeah.
thinking.
Absolutely. Like yeah, like your altar is gonna look different than mine. Mine's got my power animal. You probably would have your ancestors on it,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever, like maybe some people like to have offerings like cornmeal or whatever is specific to your practice, whatever the offering, whoever you're offering it to,
Yeah.
um, have offerings on the table, stuff
Yeah.
like that. So,
Yeah. Well, that was nice. I'm glad that you were able to share your story a little bit and how you did your practice, how you set up your space. And hopefully that's helpful because I think even as you were talking about it, because I did mine completely different and mine is not, although I'm in this room, this room is not it. It's a space in this room.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Um, for me. So even as you were talking about it, I was like, oh, maybe I should reset and do some of those things.
Yeah, I mean, I think especially like I said, moms are like we both have a ton of people in our house, so
Mm-hmm.
like finding a space that is just mine to decompress is really important. I mean, like I said, it doesn't even have to be for sacred practice. It could be just some place that you can decompress, reconnect with yourself. If you want to connect with spirit, do it there.
Mm-hmm.
It's really
Yeah.
important.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
Cool.
all right. Well, look for that bonus. What is it? Traveling altar episode. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, until next time, stay.
Curious.
Bye.